If you think you need to drop $2,000 for a high-class indoor exercise bike, think again. The Yesoul G1M Max delivers the ride, classes, the screen, all for a fraction of the price of what a Peloton costs. But is it a budget beast or a garage sale regret? Today I'm breaking down the good, the bad, and whether this Yesoul setup is worth your hard-earned money. The No Fate channel, checking in. Jonathan here, and probably the most well-known exercise bike name in the business is Peloton, and they have spent a lot of money marketing their overpriced exercise bikes and the accompanying subscription that you have to pay every month. No! I mean, it seems like everybody has a Peloton bike. Why do I know this? Because you can't go on Facebook Marketplace without seeing 2 or 3 up for sale at all times at what seems like pennies on the dollar. If these exercise bikes are so fantastic, why are people in such a hurry to get rid of them at mass? Well, I've got potentially a budget exercise bike that delivers everything the Peloton delivers without the flashy name along the side. Today we're going to be reviewing the Yesoul G1M Max exercise bike that comes in at a third of the price of a Peloton. But is it as good? The G1M Max is the Yesoul flagship exercise bike, and I know I'm pronouncing the name of that company incorrectly, but I am a product of public education, so take it for what it is. This thing comes with a ton of premium features. It's belt-driven, magnetic resistance, and you get a massive HD screen along with speakers in the front and the back that are going to blow your ears off. For everything this thing is delivering, I am very, very surprised at the price tag. I've ridden Peloton, Bowflex, Nordic Track, and for under $1,000, this thing absolutely competes. The big claim to fame on this bike, the big standout obviously has to be the HD screen. And that's really what people want. They want to be able to have a class and not have to be squinting at their phone or duct tape their tablet somewhere on the bike. They want to be able to take classes both live as well as pre-recorded, or have scenic rides where it looks as though you're riding through a park or something like that, versus staring directly at the wall. On top of that, you can do Bluetooth, heart rate monitoring, and the other big massive upgrade on the G1M Max compared to their G1M Plus are the speakers. They boosted the speakers here in the front and they added speakers here in the rear. And I will tell you, if you were looking for like surround sound, if you really want to kind of get into the weeds of whether you're watching an app like Netflix or you're just taking a class and having the sound blasting, this thing does deliver. A little bit more of the overview of this bike. Assembly takes about 30 minutes. It arrives in one box, no problem, no tools required. I will tell you, the bottle holders in the front point away from you, which is nice because it won't bother your knees if you have like a big water bottle in here. I have tried some spin bikes that have the water bottles facing in, and every time you like bring your knee up, you're clipping your own water bottle. Super annoying. The handlebars are nice, easy to grip, and they've got a little bit of foam around them to give them a little bit of cushion. You've got a comfortable seat here to begin with, but they also give you a seat pad to further spread out your weight and make your tush feel nice and comfortable. I will say it is belt driven, which we'll get to about why that's important. And at the end of the day, it is gonna be a third of the price of your typical Peloton bike. Let's talk about the good from my experience riding this bad boy over the course of 2.5 weeks. I will tell you the screen is a standout. It's nice to have a massive screen in front of you, whether you're taking a class or whether you're just watching Netflix on here. It's just a lot more convenient and engaging than having like your phone or your tablet set up in the front. I will say the speakers do add a nice little touch. They are loud. They do feel premium in terms of the sound that you get compared to your typical exercise monitor that just has speakers in the front. So the fact that you're kind of getting a surround sound feeling definitely kind of pulls you into the experience and kind of hypes you up a bit more. The belt drive on this thing is extremely smooth. Oftentimes when you go with the lower end product, you find yourself like hiccuping, especially at the higher resistances. You kind of like hiccup with each step, and this thing is not only quiet, but buttery smooth. And the biggest positive when it comes to this bike has to be the price point. You look at Peloton, Nordic Track, Bowflex, and some of these prices that they want are an arm and a leg, and you're just looking to ride your spin bike like a couple times a week and just enjoy the experience. You're not looking to put a down payment on a home. I will tell you that this price point of this bike fluctuates because of the sales that they run. So I'm going to put the price as of today, and I'll link it in the description so you can see what the price is at the time that you're watching today's video. And when it comes to money and savings, getting a third of the price for almost the same experience, that's value. So let's talk about the bad. Now, not all of what I'm going to mention are deal breakers, but I do need to mention them in order that you can go into every purchase with your eyes wide open. Number one, this is manual resistance. So in terms of reducing or increasing the resistance, you're going to turn this knob. Now, a lot of people with regards to the premium top-end bikes want resistance where they just kind of hit a button and the resistance auto adjusts. I actually don't mind the manual resistance. It's just one of those things that you just get used to. And if you've ever had a spin class, most of those bikes are manual resistance. When it comes to trying to save money on building out an exercise bike, I think going with the manual resistance of the knob is a great feature to have because most people don't see it as a negative and it's not something that bothers their workouts. Now, one big negative for me is subscriptions. Now, this is not new. Every exercise company is putting out subscriptions, forcing you to pay month to month in order to utilize the full experiences of their app and the features of the bike. And Yesoul is no different. You got to pay $13 month to month. You can't save more than that if you buy a whole year in advance. But I will tell you, even at $13 a month, you're paying a third of the price of what Peloton is looking to rake you over the coals for. At the end of the day, I absolutely hate subscriptions, even if they are very low, because it's just like a death by a thousand cuts. It's just kind of like the straw that breaks the camel's back. Getting all those subscriptions added on to your credit card absolutely can be demoralizing. And if you don't have the subscription for this bike, you're not able to fully unlock a lot of the features that come with this screen, which is why you buy the bike in the first place. Another feature to be aware of are the pedals. The pedals are bucket pedals, so you put your feet in and you clamp it down. But if you've ever taken a spin class or you're big into cycling, you will have shoes specific for cycling where you clip in and you literally press down and clip in, and this doesn't have that. Now, you can swap these out, and a lot of people don't use those clip-in shoes, so that's not going to be an issue, but it's something I wanted to mention because if you're big into cycling and you get this, you're going to have to swap out the pedals for those that have clips. Now, one of the things I mentioned as a pro, but it's also a con, is the speakers. You're paying part of the price of this bike because it comes with massive speaker in the front and these two here in the back, and many of you just aren't going to use them. Now, I know for me, when I'm out here in my garage, I can crank these things and my family's not going to hear it. But when I'm in my basement working out, if I crank these things, I'm going to wake up the kids, and that's a no-fly zone if you catch my drift. So for some of you, you're going to love the speakers, and for others who want to be in a more quiet environment because they've got family, they've got kids, they live in an apartment, they've got neighbors, you're not going to want to blast these speakers and you're not going to get the full use out of them. In that case, I would go with the G1M Plus from Yesoul. That's the same exact bike minus the speakers. So that's a great way to save an extra $100 right there. You still get speakers, you just don't get the beefed up ones here in the back. Another issue is the fact that you cannot adjust the front handles front to back. Now, there's tons of adjustment points. You can adjust the height up and down. You can adjust the seat front and back. You can adjust the handles up and down, but you can't just adjust the handles front to back. And for those of you that are typical average users, that's not a big deal. You just kind of move the seat back. But for those of you that are absolutely spin monsters who want to dial in this bike 100% with your body design and shape and get a 100% great fit and feel on your bike so that you can get on that horse and ride, that's going to be a little bit of a nuisance because you have to move the seat back, and sometimes you're going to want to put the handles forward. If you want 90% of the ride for 10% of the cost, the G1M Max from Yesoul is absolutely the real deal. Keep in mind, before you make any purchase regarding any type of exercise bike or cardio equipment these days, you've got to ask yourself, am I going to buy this subscription? Because if the answer is no, a lot of the beneficial features of the app and the screen are going to be out the window from day one, and that can absolutely sour your experience. Now, while I personally and morally hate subscriptions, I do know that for most people who get the subscription and actually use the bike, whether it's the Yesoul or the Peloton or the NordicTrack, the subscription is worth it because it's being used. If you're going to be using the bike, the subscription's kind of a no-brainer. The worst thing you can do is get the subscription and maybe even buy a whole year in advance to bring the price point down, and then never use the bike. And that happens more often than we would like it to happen. And I think that's where a lot of these companies make money, is because people buy the subscription and just either don't use the bike, meaning that they're just not going to ride at all, or when they do just kind of get on here for a 20-minute class or something, they're not fully engaging all of the great features that the app has to offer. If you made it this far in the video, you're probably my mom. Thanks, Mom. I love you as usual. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. Use the affiliate links, hit the subscribe button, and don't save anything for the trip back.